This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that you will consider this as your vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart today. Wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please go back and subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? And if you could leave a rating, it would be so very helpful. And it would be even a great help if you could leave a brief written review. You can receive Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom just about everywhere podcasts are found. Spotify, Stitcher, of course, iTunes, Podbean, on and on it goes. Thanks for being a listener. I want to talk today about self-care. That's a red-hot topic that you hear a lot about, and it can mean lots of things to lots of people. And we could go on a long time, and I have spoken about it and will continue to speak about it. And what I'm about to say is I just sort of quickly jotted down, and it came to actually 12 things that are helpful in the area of self-care, especially for a leader, because usually if you're a leader, you're hard driving and you just keep pushing through. And I'm all for pushing through, and I'm all for working hard, but I'm also a very big believer in self-care. So let's just dive right in and talk about various areas of our life in which self-care is needed and what some of those steps may be. Step number one that I want to talk to you about is proper sleep. There was a time in my life where I was an absolute abuser of this. I would stay up late and get up early. I stayed up late after everyone in the household had gone to bed to read, to do whatever. But I am discovering that whereas we think that the reason we have to sleep is a design flaw, no, God didn't make a flaw when He created us. It's important time of rest, restoration, healing, and preparation for a new day. The same God who created night and day did it for a reason. Now we, as you know, can create artificial light, and we kind of draw the distinction, or have erased the distinctions between night and day. I'm doing some things when it comes to proper sleep. I used to, when I was younger, go to bed. Now I prepare for bed. But one of the things I do is about 45 minutes before I go to sleep, I turn off all screen. I get my face away from screens. I do a little reading, Bible reading, prayer. I sort of write a little something that I'm thankful for that I encountered during that day. At this time, I also review the things that I'm doing tomorrow. I've actually done that earlier. I'm recording this early evening. I've already done that because tomorrow's an exceedingly busy day with lots of meetings, and I've had to get the things in my case ready for those meetings. And then I get myself in the proper sleep. I know where I'm going tomorrow. I know the 3 things that are absolutely essential for me to accomplish, and I've written them down. And then I'll just gradually ease into that till I'm in bed. Most folks need 6 to 8 hours sleep. And if you really want to practice self-care, this is one of the easiest ones to begin with. And the thing is, you're going to have to retrain yourself. Most of us have trained ourselves to run on a lot less sleep. But I'm discovering we need 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And if you plan well and live well and are organized, you can get that done. The second item of self-care is you're going to have to begin to eat well or eat better. Doesn't mean that you can't have that piece of cake on your birthday and a dish of ice cream, but we need to be paying more attention to eating good, nutritional food. That would be a part of self-care, an important component. The third step is exercise. For many, many years, I could say decades, was the poster boy for no exercise. And within just the last year, a little over a year, I've really gotten into exercising, and I can say it is a good, healthy addiction. As much as it does for my physical body, it helps my mind to be clear. It helps to keep my emotions in check. It is a wonderful discipline that is an important part of self-care. The fourth item that I want to mention to you in regard to self-care is something that, again, I didn't always do, but that is drink plenty of water. Hydrate yourself. I start with my morning routine of drinking a large amount of water, getting myself hydrated. It makes me feel better. It makes me more alert. It gets the day. It sort of is a trigger to turn the body on from an evening sleep. I've gone now to where nearly every meal, all I drink is water. I drink other things as well, but with my meals. I've become a firm believer on hydration. The fourth item that I, pardon me, the fifth item that I would mention is limit distractions. I today had evidently forgotten to turn my notification pings off of my computers and my iPhone, and I had to go back in. Somehow they got turned on and turn those off, because when I'm in meetings and when I'm time chunking and working in blocks of time following that method, they are very distracting. That's why, as I've already mentioned, when I get ready for bed, I start getting rid of screen time and getting myself ready to go to sleep. You'll find other limiting distractions. Sometimes when you're at work, as much as you love having an open door policy and allowing anyone to come by at any time, there are certain times when you have to put your head down and work, and to limit the distractions, you may need to close your door, turn the ringer and your phone off for a few moments. Whatever it may be that you need to limit distractions, I would seriously tell you to do that. Number 6 is to delegate. Leader, you don't have to touch everything. You don't have to do everything. And let me say something even quite a bit radical. You may not even be the best person in your family, your church, your business to even do what needs to be done. There may be someone right there by you who is better able to accomplish what that particular task or item is. And again, this is the reason I've become, I know about all of these is I was so poor at most of these in the early days of my life. But delegation does two things. It equips and trains others, as well as it frees us up to do and to work at the things that we are really gifted at. I have an area that I want to call, which I think is, we're down to about the seventh or eighth one here, and that would be your environment. I have also become a great believer in decluttering. Today I had to be on a phone call with a couple of people where it was just minimal information, but I needed to touch base and it was important. And I had them on speakerphone in my office. And while I did that, I took my desk drawer out, put it on top of my desk, and I severely decluttered that drawer. I was able to talk to my friends, but now the next time I'm in my office, when I pull that drawer out, it's everything is in order, and the things that were in there that were unnecessary should never have been there, I filed, put them away, or yes, threw it away. I'm on a mission that every day for the next month, I'm decluttering an area of my life. Some of it is physical, like closets and garages. Some of it is electronic, like laptops and cell phones. Some of it's workspace, some of it is space at home. But I'm on a mission to declutter because this is, in essence, taking a step of self-care. I just feel better, more relaxed. I'm better able to focus on the matter at hand when I'm in a clean, crisp environment. So declutter is very important. Also, I'm beginning about every 2 or 3 months to take inventory at my office and my home and the office where I have at my workplace. And that I'm making sure that all of my electronic devices are working, the batteries have been changed, and things are plugged in and the plugs still work. There's nothing worse than having to rely upon something and it not working. That's part of the decluttering. We keep a lot of worthless, out of date electronics because we just have this fear. Many of us were raised that you don't throw perfectly good things away. but they're not perfectly good. They don't even work many times. And one of the best things you can do is take a day to just tune up and make sure that everything is working. Let me get back to another self-care step that you can take. It's number 8, and that is an annual physical. Now, I know when you're younger, you have a tendency to push past that and not listen to that. But regardless of what age you are, I highly recommend that one of the best things you can do for yourself, your family, your organization is have an annual physical. Put it on the calendar. For years, I had it the week of my birthday. Not because there's anything mystical about that or magical about my birthday, but it was just easy for me to remember. It's moved off of that date now, but my doctor schedules it the same month every year, and I know it's going to happen. And it's great to have early detection, great to be able to have sort of a timeline, to have a baseline of how your health is doing. Do not neglect your health. The 9th item that I would say that I think helps and improves our self-care would be to journal. To just write down your thoughts, write down what you're going through, a place to express your feelings. Oftentimes we leaders are not very good at emoting and talking through particular issues. And one of the things that's very helpful for me is I write in my journal every day 3 things that I'm grateful for, and no 2 days do I write the same 3 things. Now, at first you'll think, well, I don't have that much to be thankful for. But when you get into that mindset, you'll find that you are grateful for some of the smallest things in life. There's another category, I'm going to make it the 10th category of self-care, and that's your finances. Have you done a personal financial audit? How are you doing with debt? Are you getting yourself out of debt? If not, come up with a realistic but stretching goal to get yourself out of debt. Most Americans, at least, and most folks in lots of places are drowning in debt. You know you can't, the borrower is slave to the lender, the Bible says. You must get out of debt. The next thing is, how's the area of your savings? Are you putting money back? Many of us were told to put money back for a rainy day. That's sort of negative, and perhaps that might even be the reason that many of us didn't do that. So let me give you a positive reaffirmation in regarding to saving. Why don't you begin saving for a sunny day? Saving for something you'll want to do or something you'll need down the road when things are really going well. None of us know when emergencies are going to happen, and you really need an emergency fund. I'm a believer that your emergency fund should be as liquid as it can possibly be. So if there's a large purchase, something that unforeseen arises, even something that you're planning on, you'll have resources to pay it and not having to keep pulling out the credit card. I'm doing my Dave Ramsey imitation there. And then I would say to you, are you saving for retirement? Let me help you here. It comes much more quickly than you think it's going to. It doesn't take millions of dollars being put in. Just put in something. Begin now. Don't think it's the government or your boss or your parents' job to take care of you. It's no one's job to take care of you but you. You are responsible for yourself. And one of the greatest things you can do in the area of self-care is getting a hold of your finances, including looking at your debt load, increasing your savings, and working on setting aside money for retirement. The 11th area that I want to talk to you about self-care is one that I have just recently gotten some more victory on, and that's the area of driving. I've been one of those who was easily frustrated by the poor driving habits of those around me. I was having breakfast with an old friend the other day who talked about how patience can help us with everything, including being patient with the drivers in front of us, behind us, and all around us. And somehow that word spoken to me has really encouraged me. And so rather than getting stressed out about driving, I'm beginning to relax and just say, I'm going to practice patience as I drive. Another thing that I'm a firm believer of, try to get to where you're going early. Just as we talked about, you need to build an emergency fund for emergencies that are unforeseen. I do a lot of driving in my work, and you never know what you're going to encounter on the highways of life. And so if you leave home cutting it close, uh, oftentimes you're going to be late. So I build in a little extra time. It takes the pressure off my driving, and I'm basically thinking of it as a self-care vitamin. The last one, number 12, is a vacation. I hear people all the time talk about all of the vacation they leave on the table. They're just too busy to take a vacation. I know people that I have gotten sabbaticals for who have never taken them because they're too busy and the world couldn't go on with them being gone for a few weeks. You are not going to have anyone eulogize you at your funeral and say, "Here lies John or Jane Doe, who had 29 weeks of unspent vacation in their life in which they worked." No one will mention it. No one will send you a note. I am a firm believer in the power of vacating. The power of vacation, just the change of scenery, can work wonders in your life. Don't worry about it. They'll get along without you. One of the most productive days you'll ever have is the day before you leave on vacation. You will get more done than you could ever imagine. Get alone with your family. Get away with your family. As you become an older person, you look back and reflect on your life. The times that you will have enjoyed the most were the times that you spent with your family and friends in downtime vacation. You deserve it. You've earned it. It's yours. Take it. I go in the beginning of the year and I start planning my vacations and putting them on my calendar, because if I don't, then my calendar will fill up. And the vacation is too important in the area of my self-care. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that this has been like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart today. And best advice I can give to all of you is take care of yourself. We need you. Your family needs you. Your organization needs you. We really need you to stay around for a good long while. And leader, as always, I want to remind you today, regardless of how it feels or what anyone else says, you are doing better than you think you are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.